Hello everyone. Today I want to share my journey of learning how to keep garlic cloves dry, fragrant and fresh for a long time, even up to a year if done correctly. I used to think garlic was a very easy to care for ingredient, just needing to be stored in a dry place. But then, after opening a bag of garlic and finding some cloves that had softened, sprouted pale green shoots, or had an unpleasant, pungent smell, I realized that if not stored properly, garlic can spoil much faster than I thought. After harvesting, garlic is usually dried to reduce moisture, but if left in a humid, hot place or in direct sunlight, it is prone to mold or sprouting. And what surprised me most was, just by adding a few very familiar kitchen ingredients, everything can change completely. Where are you watching this video from? Let me know in the comments. I love reading your comments. Every time I read them, I see my video being watched in so many different places. It's really exciting. Now, let's begin. Method 1. Preserving garlic using baking soda and dried tea leaves. I start by selecting the garlic, a small step, but one that almost entirely determines the final result. I always pick up each clove, feeling its firmness, checking that the outer skin is dry, bright white, and tightly envelops the clove. I carefully discard any cloves that show signs of being soft, damp, bruised, or have green sprouts, because even one substandard clove can affect the entire batch during long-term storage. After selecting garlic cloves that are truly dry and healthy, I move on to preparing the container. I usually choose plastic or glass containers with airtight lids, but the most important thing is that the container must be completely dry and clean. Once everything was ready, I started sprinkling a thin layer of baking soda on the bottom of the box. That white powder looked simple, but it acted like a silent shield, absorbing moisture and keeping the inside environment dry. Then I placed a layer of paper towels on top. This not only prevented the garlic from coming into direct contact with the baking soda, but also helped absorb any remaining moisture. Next, I gently placed each garlic clove on top of the paper towel, not packing them too tightly but leaving them a little space to breathe. Once the garlic was neatly arranged, I added some dried tea leaves to the box. Dried tea leaves are excellent at absorbing moisture and create a more stable environment, helping to limit the growth of mold and bacteria. Finally, I sealed the box and placed it in a cool, dry place, away from direct sunlight. With this method, garlic can typically be preserved for about 3 to 5 months, or even longer if the original garlic is truly dry, firm, and has never been exposed to moisture. Second method, preserving garlic using baking soda and ginger. First, I took a paper towel, unfolded it flat, and poured in a spoonful of baking soda along with a few slices of pre-dried ginger. When I wrapped it up, I tied it tightly into a small bag, like a natural desiccant. The baking soda acted as a solid base. It didn't have a strong smell, didn't affect the flavor of the garlic, but it was very good at absorbing moisture. And as you know, moisture is the silent enemy that makes garlic soften quickly, become moldy, and start sprouting. Dried ginger, on the other hand, plays a different role, a gentle yet essential one. Once dried, ginger retains its natural antibacterial properties. It doesn't act as aggressively as chemicals, but rather as a soft protective layer, helping to limit the growth of microorganisms in enclosed spaces. At the same time, dried ginger also contributes to mild moisture absorption, further supporting the effects of baking soda. I placed the small packet together with the garlic, then gently pressed it with my hand to push out the air. As the bag gradually deflated, I tied the opening tightly, trying to keep the contents as airtight as possible. Finally, I placed the bag in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight and moisture. What I like about this method is the neatness and discretion. Every time I pick up the bag of garlic, I can clearly feel the dryness inside, and a very subtle sense of reassurance, like knowing that I've kept those garlic cloves in the best condition. A little longer, a little more durable over time. With this preservation method, if the storage location remains dry, cool, and free from humidity or constant temperature changes, garlic can be preserved for about 6 to 8 months. When opened, the garlic will still be dry, firm, and have its characteristic aroma. Third method, preserving garlic by soaking it in oil. First, I separate each clove of garlic, then use my index finger and thumb to firmly pinch both ends of the clove together. Squeeze a little, and at the same time gently press on the outer peel. Immediately, the peel will begin to separate. At this point, you just need to gently tear along the gap to quickly and neatly peel the garlic. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Your support is what motivates me to continue sharing even more helpful tips. Next, I select garlic cloves that are bright white or slightly off-white, with a dry surface, free from moisture or stickiness. When I pick them up, they feel firm, heavy, and not soft. This is a sign that the cloves are fresh and haven't been affected by moisture. Discard any cloves with brown spots, bruises, or tips that are starting to turn green, a sign of sprouting. For added convenience during cooking, you can mince the garlic, but not too finely so that it retains its natural aroma. When minced, garlic releases allicin, a compound with strong antibacterial, antifungal, and antioxidant properties. Now put the garlic into a clean, dry glass jar. Next, pour cooking oil over the garlic cloves, ensuring the oil evenly coats the surface. This layer of oil will help limit direct contact with air, preventing the garlic from browning and keeping it soft and moist. Seal the jar tightly and store in the refrigerator. With this method, garlic will retain its flavor and color for about 3 to 4 weeks. Each time you take out garlic to use, remember to close the lid tightly to minimize air exposure. This method is extremely convenient, allowing me to always have minced garlic readily available for stir-frying, sautéing, or marinating meat without wasting extra time. So, I've introduced you to 3 methods for preserving garlic. Which method do you like best? If you know any better tips, don't hesitate to share them so everyone can learn. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more great tips. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next videos!